about to do right here, you know, real. And I said, that's it right there.
That's the type.
Let's have some real talk.
Wonderful. Now, in the book, though, you reveal a lot of personal issues, personal struggles. Why did you want to do that?
I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I didn't. That was God. That was purely God.
You didn't say you didn't want to do it.
No, it was not me. That was truly from God,
Yeah.
and it was actually cleansing for me.
Wonderful.
I remember a lot of nights writing and crying at the same time, and I'm all man, and yes, I cried. Nothing wrong with a man crying, but it just reminded me of what he's brought me through. The reason that it's in the book, though, is because teenagers have a special gift that adults do not like to acknowledge. A teenager has a very keen sense of whether you're being truthful or not. And once they perceive that an adult is lying to them, you lose that child's respect.
Yes.
And that's where we as adults find it difficult. Well, these kids aren't listening to me. It's because there's something about you that's coming across as phony.
Right.
And they pick up on it.
Right. Or if it comes across like it's criticizing
Correct.
over being concerned about where they are in
Correct.
life. And so you can shut a young person down when you don't take the time to just find out who they are, you know, kind of where they come from before you go in and you start, you know, correcting them. You know,
That's right.
And we do know that, you know, correction can come in love, but, you know, I think a lot of them get, you know, turned away, as you said, because they can sense that, you know, either if you're phony or even if you're being a hypocrite. You know, if you're telling me to do something that you're not living. That's generally, that's the last person you want to hear from is someone that you know is not living what they're suggesting you to do.
Exactly. Well, truth without love is brutality. And we miss that as Christians. Sometimes we get so caught up in our salvation that we forget that our job is to save others, make disciples, go and make disciples of all nations. That is the Great Commission. So I said, let me show these kids that I'm not just talking out the side of my neck, as my grandma used to say.
Right.
I'm talking to you from experience. I've been where you are right now. Kim, you were talking about, you know, those moments that we have as single people where you just have that night. It's Friday night.
Right.
I'm horny. Hey, she keep calling me. It ain't just the sisters. We struggle too. She calling me. She do still look good. You know, and that thought process begins, and I'm trying to get them to understand, I know that you're going through that too. Our kids, they have this thing now where they're trying to be so serious at such a young age. I mean, they're playing house.
They're being, and one of the reasons is because they are so exposed to so many adult issues.
Correct.
That's so true. And not having a lot of places where they can have an outlet to address those issues.
That's
and
right.
so as you talk about this book and taking out the fluffiness, you know, of, as you call, you know, in some terms that, you know, they may not necessarily understand when they open up the Bible for themselves, Lisa, you bring the subjects down to their level to bring them back up to an understanding. And I say that, you know, like, and Kim, you know, as I mentioned, you've written your books and you're a minister, but Theo, most people, I guess, would probably assume that you're either a pastor or a youth pastor or someone.
Yeah, and I'm not.
And you're not.
I'm not, but it's interesting that you bring that up. We also have, you know, I'm noticing as we're sitting here talking, a lot of issues are with the adults, not the kids. We get stuck on the wrong things, and one of the other things we get stuck on is titles.
That's true.
You know, I love how you don't throw your title around. Although you are a minister, most adults forget that a minister is simply a servant.
Yes.
So whether you have the title or not, if God has laid on your heart a heart to serve His people, whether it be through writing a book or producing a CD or going around grabbing people that you see are hurting and saying, look, the Lord loves you. That's all within the realm of ministry. So no, I don't have the title but I am definitely a minister in that I have a desire and I have an unquenchable thirst to serve God's people, specifically His young people.
Right, and you're answering the call that He's given to all of us, which is to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ. So whether it's in the pulpit or on the street corner, you know, at the event that's coming up that you have like, so you have an event tonight, but you have an event coming up on the 21st of February.
Yes, absolutely. On February 21st, we will be celebrating the release of Real Talk, and I'm excited, and I just cannot wait. We'll have some spoken word there. We'll do a couple of readings. We'll have a miniature Real Talk session where the young people will be able to ask questions that they don't normally get the forum to ask. So I would like everybody to come out. It's absolutely free. There will be food. There will be music. It's Saturday, February 21st at Christian Tabernacle Church. CTAB, God bless you. From 6 to 9 p.m. And I would like to see everybody out. Bring your young people, bring yourselves, because a lot of older people have been contacting me and saying, look, I know you wrote this, and I meant to give it to my daughter, but she hasn't gotten it yet because you're talking to me. So Real Talk, it was written for young people, but it's not just for young people.
Right, right. Because you touch on a lot of issues that, the truth of the matter is, if we didn't get them resolved or address them when we were younger, we still dealing with them as an adult. And they've manifested themselves a lot larger, which is one of the challenges too. The relationships with the adult and the young people. We have a team that we were just teaching this Wednesday. We're doing a series for our young people at our church, Third New Hope, called Flip My House, where we are going through the different rooms and equating the rooms of the house to the rooms and compartments of our lives as believers. And so this week we were in the bedroom, you know, and so we talked about what's supposed to take place in there, you know, of course beyond sex, you know, prayer and meditation, studying, resting, you know, things of that nature. But when we did to talk about sex, we were talking to them about the need for a game plan, you know, because we can say, you know, I'm going to abstain, and, you know, and of course, sometimes will tell us, they start off telling us what they think we want to hear. No, I'm going to wait till I get married. No, I'm not thinking about sex. I don't even like boys. I don't like girls. And, you know, so they tell us in the beginning what they want us to hear. But we were telling them that you have to have a game plan. The majority of them played sports, so they knew about coming to a practice. They knew about studying different plays. They knew about knowing who the opposition was and what their strengths were, and knowing what the team's strengths and weaknesses are. And they knew about that. They knew they had to listen to a coach. And we had to tell them that this is the same thing when you're approaching life. And you know that you're struggling with certain issues and you're losing, or you're losing ground, then you need to have a game plan. And so, you know, we'll be following up with them. But, you know, those are the type of discussions, of course, that have to take place. And, you know, you can jump in at any time, girl.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I didn't want to take away from...
No.
Oh, okay. Because that's
real talk.
I was just thinking, what you said about even talk to the youth. No one ever talked to me about sex as a child. My parents didn't talk to me. And so if my parents don't do it, somebody's going to do it. I had a neighbor, and I used to hang with her. She was promiscuous. She used to tease me, talking about, you still on the island. So if I would have listened to her, I would have been all over the place, you know, but God. But the thing is, for you guys to be doing that, where they could come to you and you have your book about real talk, it's like, it's a blessing. It's definitely of God, because now they can talk about it.
Right.
You know, because a lot of the young people I talk to, when after they had sex, not a single one of them, all of them say, I wish I would have waited.
Right.
And then the adults say, I wish somebody would have told me when I was younger. So this is definitely God.
Right.
It's funny you bring that up. The first chapter jumps right into sex.
Right.
I chose to come from a no holds barred approach. one of my edicts is no more fear. And fear is an acronym that simply stands for